How social effects of smoking changed our society. There was a time in our history, not too long ago, that society view of smoking was pretty cool. This behavior thinking had developed some serious consequences that have reshaped our society today. Since we now know the dangerous consequences of smoking, we have come up with innovative ways to prevent people from smoking and campaign it that is not cool. With the advancement of technology and medicine, there are many ways to treat and cure the diseases that are caused from smoking. However, it is too late to justify the wrongdoing of our society of the past, or is it still time to correct the mistake of the present to bring hope for the future? The consequences of smoking has a major effect on our social lives and our physical bodies. How smoking affects the family. Majority of smokers had begun smoking when they were young, and it starts at home. Teenage smoking had caused a rift between the teen and the parent. This type of coolness sparks the curiosity of their friends, and eventually they start smoking. The habit becomes addictive and enters into their adult life. Eventually, this effect will cause their children to start smoking, and the cycle continues. Friends and social life. Social smoking is pretty much dangerous. By just having a few cigarettes with your friends can make you feel part of the crowd. For those in our society, most people see smoking cigars as a luxurious pastime, inhaling twice as much toxins in social gatherings, and it can increase the risk of lung cancer. Smoking and pregnancy. Smoking and pregnancy is related to many effects on health and reproduction. Secondhand smoke appears to present an equal danger to the fetus, as one study noted that heavy parental smoking increased the risk of early pregnancy loss. Ideally, women should not smoke before, during, or after pregnancy. Approximately 10% of women smoke during pregnancy. Of women who smoked during the last 3 months of pregnancy, it's reported that 52% smoking 5 or less cigarettes per day. 27% reported smoking 6 to 10 cigarettes per day, and 21% report smoking 11 or more cigarettes per day. In the United States, women whose pregnancies were unintended are 30% more likely to smoke during pregnancy than those whose pregnancy were intended. And the effects on the baby: early rupture of membranes, ectopic pregnancy, placental abruption, cardiovascular and heart defects, facial effects, and brain defects.
The effects of smoking at the cellular level. Smoking has numerous effects to people at the cellular level. It is a known carcinogen, which is a cancer causing agent found in the environment. It affects our DNA and our cells. Tobacco use is also the one carcinogen that causes the most cancer, as well as different types of cancer. Carcinogens from smoking affect our DNA. One of the major ways it affects DNA is by turning off a gene that instructs the cell to stop dividing. This occurs when a chemical from the cigarette smoke called BPDE binds to DNA. The P53 gene, like the RB gene, is a tumor suppressor gene. Its activity stops the formation of tumors. Carcinogens cause damage to our DNA or cause cells to divide faster than the normal rate, thus causing cancer. When cells in the body continue to divide uncontrollably, tumors are formed. The carbon monoxide from cigarette smoke attaches to hemoglobin, which prevents oxygen from attaching to the hemoglobin and reduces the amount of oxygen available for the body. More people die from lung cancer than from any other form of cancer. The main carcinogen that causes lung cancer is smoking. Cigarette smoke is a known likely carcinogen or factor for different types of cancer. Not only does it cause lung cancer, but smoking also causes and contributes to more different types of cancer than any other substance. Cigarette smoke is known or likely carcinogen for the following cancers: lung cancer, bladder cancer, kidney, pancreas, stomach, and the cervix. Smoking has numerous effects on the cellular level. It affects the DNA, the cells, which in turn affects the human body. The p53 gene in DNA is affected by BPDE, which shuts down the gene to prevent it from suppressing tumors. Cells keep dividing and creating tumors. Carbon monoxide binds the hemoglobin, depleting the amount of oxygen in the blood, and the shape and function of cells are affected by the different carcinogens. This all leads to the various diseases and cancers associated with smoking, with the number one cancer being lung cancer.
Quitting physical and behavioral challenges. Behavioral challenges. Why people smoke. Quitting smoking is not an easy task. There are many aspects that play into it, such as the physical and behavioral challenges. Smoking is part of a daily routine, and at the same time, the nicotine provides a temporary and addictive high. Eliminating nicotine completely from your body will cause you to experience physical withdrawal symptoms and cravings. When I looked into the matter deeper, I realized that smoking in some aspects is very much like drinking for some reason. The reason why adults smoke is to deal with feelings such as depression, stress, anxiety, and loneliness. The biggest issue is in learning how to handle these negative feelings without smoking, therefore the behavioral challenge. Routines are never easy to break. This is why it's so hard to quit smoking. Even though it's true that nicotine causes a dependence that is hard to overcome, some say that the hardest thing to do is simply breaking the routine. Very soon, smoking routines become smoking triggers. Smokers have an agenda. Smoke when you're relaxing. They smoke during work breaks. Smoke when they're stressed. They smoke after a meal. Smoke when they're happy. They smoke as a social gathering with friends and family. At the end, they're smoking all the time. The physical challenges. Nicotine. For many people, smoking is more than a habit. It is a nicotine addiction. How it works. When you smoke, nicotine goes from a cigarette into the brain in about 10 to 20 seconds. Nicotine then attaches to nicotine receptors in the brain, and that sends a message to release a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine provides the feeling of pleasure, but it doesn't last long, so you crave another cigarette. This is why it's harder to quit smoking. Even if you want to quit, the body craves nicotine. This is what makes you keep going. Nicotine withdrawals. Unless the level of nicotine is maintained, your body will go through withdrawals. Symptoms of withdrawal from nicotines are unpleasant and stressful, but they are only temporary. Mostly, these symptoms peak 48 hours after you quit and are completely gone after 6 months. Some of the symptoms are tingling in the hands and feet, sweating, intestinal disorders such as cramps or nausea, headaches, or cold symptoms as the lungs begin to clear. How to quit smoking. It is not easy to quit smoking. It requires a strong will and a desire to change. But most of all, it has a lot to do with perseverance. Most people try to stop smoking and expect it to be easy. A lot of people who are in denial always state how I can stop if I want to. I am not addicted. However, this is easier said than done. To quit smoking, there are several things you need to keep in mind. 1. You will need to make changes. 2. You will need to make a plan. 3. Create a support system. 4. Be patient with yourself. 5. It will take time to make a change. 6. Be aware of the effects you cause on others around you. And 7. Remember that you are quitting for your own good. First, to make changes effectively, stop smoking, you will need to make certain different changes in your life. First of all, because smoking becomes a routine, you'll have to consider breaking your daily routines. Do random things. Go with your gut. Change the order you do things. If you usually work out in the afternoon, then try working out in the morning, and so on. For many smokers, ending a meal means smoking. Replace that moment of the meal with something else, such as fruit, dessert, or something like that. For other smokers, it's a social event. When those around you are smoking, it is far more difficult to quit. Therefore, you need to let those around you know what you are trying to do. You'll need a support system. Let your family and friends know what you're trying to do. It will help you a lot to have those around you love and support you and encourage you. Another option is to find a quitting buddy. There are many smokers that are in the same situation that you are. Having a partner works as the same as a workout buddy. You will encourage each other and help each other. You're both struggling, but it's never easy to go through all these changes alone. Change never comes easy. We have become a society that is fixated in the instant gratification or instant fixes that we can't maintain focus on one cause till the end. In today's world, everything is at the tip of our fingers. Things are done faster. Results are expected instantaneously. However, this is not the way it was intended. Sometimes we forget that the main issues in the world cannot and will not be solved with technology. Quitting smoking is a process that requires time. And even after time has gone by, temptation is something that smokers will have to deal with on a daily basis for the rest of their lives. It will take time. We need to realize that this bad habit wasn't built in a day. It took more than that. One smoking to get you addicted. Smoking affects those around you. Smokers often rationalize the habit by saying that they're affecting themselves. However, this is not the case at all. Smoking also affects those around you. It's been found recently through research that it's more dangerous to those getting the secondhand smoke because this smoke goes directly to their lungs. Unlike with the cigarettes, it at least goes through a filter. Secondhand smoke is a combination of smoke from a burning cigarette, cigar, or pipe, and the smoke exhaled by a smoker. It often contains higher amounts of harmful chemicals that inhaled smoke, including twice as much tar and nicotine. Thus, puts people exposed to secondhand smoke at a higher risk of smoking-related diseases and health problems. As if it wasn't enough, with the dangerous physical consequences you cause to those around you, there is also the bad example. Children that grow around those who smoke are more likely to smoke because they look up to adults and thus rationalize. If dad does it, then it's okay for me to do it too. You are not only growing unhealthy children, but also addicts and smokers. You have to remember, most of all, that you are doing this for your own good. Smoking is responsible for several diseases such as cancer, long-term chronic respiratory diseases, heart diseases, and premature death. About 440,000 people in the U.S. die every year because of smoking. It is more than clear that smoking is bad for you in more than one way. It not only affects you, but those around you. Smoking kills you slowly and painfully. Is this how you want to live? Stop today. It's a decision you and only you can make.